welcome back to a quickly trying NOLA Motorsports Park. Ralph Shaheen alongside Connor Roberts, who's joining us now as we get set for the 2025 season opener for the Ligier Junior Formula Championship, their first race of the weekend and of the season. And we're going to head down to Ben Sissel with more before we go green.
Well, thank you so much, Ralph. So excited to start the season with the Ligier JFC. This is always very exciting. Daniel Cara here, back with us. He raced with us very fast in 2023, took a break last year, but back here at the pointy end, P1. So great start for Daniel Cara. I want to mention Tenuta, Fopa, and Ambrosi Wines, his sponsor and work hub, but he's from Woodlands, Texas, but he's running the Brazilian flag. But then we've got to look, if you follow soccer like I do, we've got Argentina right next to Brazil, which is going to make for some fun racing here with Augusta Pachetta with the Scuderia Buell car, the Bruno Machinarius. I'm trying to do the best that I can, but all the way from Argentina, running really well so far. Beautiful car. I love the presentation that they have here in Scuderia Buell. You see he's flying the Argentinian flag. So even this is the United States Championship, we have people from all over the place here racing with us. Harbir Das here with North Coast Medical Group with Berg Racing. Always great to have Berg Racing here with us. Now they are starting third and fourth with us, with Daniel Such showing us a lot of speed yesterday with Berg Racing. Then we come back here. Unbelievable. I love the livery of this car. I've heard from a lot of people. This is Ava Hansen from Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Ava with this beautiful, I love this livery, even her front wing. But Ava Hansen Racing doing really well. Now she's also, you see the American flag and the German flag, fluent in German. So we love that, all the way from Wisconsin. Then we're coming back here. Luca Day from Canada, running with the LC Racing team, new with the Ligier JFC Championship. Gaston Irazu, we spoke to him earlier, so Gaston coming with us, trying to run through the field. Then we've got Fatuda here. Michael Fatuda, actually a professional trumpet player. First time in the season, first time in the series. Super happy to have him. So then we come to the Felbers. We've got Cash Felber here running with Phantom Fireworks, Town Hall. Now I got to explain something. Something happened in our first practice with the tires. So I think he qualified 5th or 6th and has to start back here. So he qualified actually 4th, starting 9th because of a tire infraction. Both Cash and Roman are very fast, so watch out for them to move up through. Kelsey Pinkowski, all the way from Rochester, New York, with Crosslink. Kelsey, this is her first time in this series with us, but she has run some Speed Tour events. She was with us last year in Watkins Glen in a vintage Mini Cooper. But right now, Ralph, I'm seeing 1 minute on the grid. Let me go through here. We've got Roman Felber, we've got Zach Foury, Josh Griffith starting 13th. He's only been racing for 2 months. And then Max Mokaram, watch out for Max Mokaram. He's starting in the back, very fast driver, but they had to change the ECU. He's starting in the back. This is going to be a fantastic Ligier Junior Formula Championship, round 1 here at NOLA. Back to you in the booth, gentlemen.
All right, Ben, it looks like it's going to be a great lineup. And Connor, we've seen some breeze picking up now with the trees blowing pretty good. And there's more storms on the horizon far off to our west. Hopefully not going to impact certainly this race. Track seems to be drying out just fine for now.
Yeah, it should be good. It'll make it dry out, especially the back part of the track that was wet during the FR Americas race. And so we should really get some good racing. The offline will be dry, so some good passing opportunities into turn 1 and turn 13.
Now, I know you haven't spent a lot of time in our Ligier JFC Junior Formula Championship. You probably wouldn't even fit in one of these cars right now, would you, at 6'4"?
I would not, yeah. The reason that we came to the F4 series was with the new car. It's really one of the only junior formula cars that I fit in, so it kind of drew us here. And it's been great. I've been loving the atmosphere in the paddock and all the people involved.
So this is the Ligier JFC chassis. Of course, all the fields running on the Hankook tires since they're the official tire supplier. See a lot of fresh sets on there. Everybody ready to go. The Honda Civic Type R 2-liter engine, non-turbo, naturally aspirated. Serviced and engineered by the folks over in Mountoon. 160 horsepower in a vehicle that weighs 1,235 pounds without the driver. Got to be 14 years of age or older to compete. So this car has some pretty good oomph to it.
Yeah, it does, especially only 1405 minimum weight, including the driver. The 160 horsepower really get the car out of the corners pretty well, and it makes it a big drafting class too with the just the aero that they have on there. It's really good for the close racing, the limited amount of aero that they got. So it's a really good learner car for people coming just out of karts. And so yeah, I'm glad that they kept using the chassis because it gives some people places to go before F4.
I see not everybody on the sticker tires, a few going out with some tires that have been worn in. Janetta pace car out front. Here's a look at the starting lineup for our Ligier JFC Junior Formula Championship Round 1. Daniel Cara on the front, pole position. Car number 10, Augusto Pachetta in the 27, right alongside. Harbir Das inside of Drew Zutch, Ava Hansen, and Luca Day, and the rest of the field. Who do you give an edge to as you take a look at this lineup?
Likely the pole sitter. I mean, he was fastest in qualifying, and with his experience in the series in 2023 and experience with the car, I think that he has to be a favorite for the win just based off his pace from the weekend and his experience.
Maximo Karam at the back end of the field with Josh Griffith. How much of an advantage is the sticker tire over a used set in the early going here?
It will be an advantage. They're a little bit harder to warm up, as you see some people still have the stickers left on, so their tires aren't going to be as up to temperature. So the scrub tires come up to temperature a little bit faster, but the lap 2, 3, and 4, the stickers are really going to be an advantage.
This will be a standing start, our second one of the day. Any keys to the standing start here at NOLA?
Don't stare at the lights. You got to look at them, but don't stare, because if you get fixated, then your reaction time goes a little bit south, and so you just got to look at the lights instead of staring at them. So
what do you look at?
You just kind of keep them in your peripheral vision so that you're not looking straight at them, so it's a little bit easier to react instead of being infatuated with the light.
It's interesting. I've never heard that before. Makes some sense.
It's a trick that I heard Martin Brundle talk about a lot on the F1 broadcast in
he would know.
2010s. Yep.
All right, getting ready to get this one underway. There are the lights getting ready to go red. When they go out, we go racing. And we're racing here at NOLA. '25 season for the Ligier Junior Formula Championship, headed to turn number 1. On the inside, it's Das in the 23, Pachetta on the outside in the red and white 27, and quickly closing in, Such in the 28. But it's going to be Pachetta leading through the first couple of corners in the silver and blue. Here comes Such up the outside, making a run in silver and orange. Das doing everything he can to hold him off. Still some wetness to the inside. Oh, one around the 26.
Looks like some contact there, too.
Yeah, that was Ava Hansen. How about the arrow behind these cars when you're running in second like we're seeing with Das here? I mean, he's right up on the gearbox.
Yeah, the wash will get pretty bad on the front. You'll lose some of that positive turn-in that you get. But in cars like this and the F4 car, it's really manageable to follow closely, and that's what makes for such great racing.
And we have that going right now between Pachetta and Das at the front of the field, working through the S's for the first time in anger. Bit of a bump through there, huh?
Yeah, there's a couple leading into the apex of 13. You can stay a little bit wider and avoid the big parts of them, but you're pretty much stuck with them regardless.
And we've noticed a big one at the entrance to turn number 1 as well.
Yeah, that one is right about turn in, and so there's pretty much no avoidance on that one. You kind of just have to modify your line to make it happen.
Looks like Such trying to make a move going inside here of Das as we head to turn number 1. There's that big bump, and it's going to be Such getting through and just in front of Das as the caution comes out. Not sure what for. See our race director, Scott Goodyear, looking far off to the left, so guessing that would be the direction.
Nice pass into turn 1, though, by Such. I mean, just a textbook move, pull out of the draft just after pit exit and pop out and, you know, keep him against the curbing on the outside so that he can't make the switch back and just brake later.
What are we looking at terminal velocity headed into 1?
In these cars, it's probably in the low 140s. 138 to like 142, I'd be guessing.
Pace car is getting ready to roll out in front of the leaders. Field working its way through the S's right now. Such just in front of Das. Well, if you can't pull it off on the standing start, maybe you can make something happen on the rolling start, right?
Yeah, in some ways they're easier, in some ways they're more difficult because it doesn't give you quite the opportunity as the standing start does, but at the same time you have the draft already established and you can pop out later and, you know, make it happen into turn 1 just from the draft and be in one line instead of 2 rows.
All right, well, while we're closing up on the pace car, let's touch base with Ben.
Yeah, I'm here with Nick Moore with Berg Racing, currently running 1 and 2. What a great start. What are the drivers saying on the radio?
They're still a little slick out there. There's a little bit of water in the apex, especially in turn 16, but they're just managing, working together like a team, just like we planned.
And Mr. Berg himself is up there in the spotter stand, but honored to have a Formula One starter like Mr. Berg, Alex Berg's dad. Alex Berg always with the pink helmet with us in F4. So great to have you guys here, and let's see how this thing shakes out. Back to you, gentlemen.
Lots of interesting names and faces roaming around the paddock here in this series.
Yes, a lot of history in racing around here, and you know, a lot of people that have been successful and done it right and are now sharing their insights with the younger generation.
Sharing that knowledge and expertise. There's obviously multiple ladder systems that you could have chosen to work your way up to wherever your dream is. What is your dream?
It's sports cars.
Okay.
And endurance
Because you
racing.
fit better, you think?
Yeah, the size is one of the driving factors, but I've always liked, you know, 24 Hours of Daytona, Le Mans, Spa, and those big, long endurance races. It just seems like the way to go for me because those guys can have a lot longer career, and you know, the travel is a little bit less hectic than a F1 season or an IndyCar season.
Sure. Okay, well, as I was saying, there's multiple ladder systems that you could have chosen. Why did you pick this?
Again, the height kind of played a role, so I was invited to the Ligier test for the new car, the new JSF 422, right before the season started, and just wanted to see if I fit and, you know, make sure that it was going to be possible, and I was very comfortable in the car, and, you know, it just made all the difference. Being comfortable in the car is paramount in these single-seaters.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. Such and Das, Pachetta. That's your top three. Arazu, Kara. That's top five. Then you get Day, Felber, and the rest working their way back through the field. Here we go, up onto the front straightaway. Pace car's off. We're ready to go back to green. Such, first one across the line. What can Das do? He is right behind him trying to work the arrow. Such moves way to the other side. Das goes right with him. They're going to stay in train formation down into turn one. I thought he was going to swing out. As soon as Such went to the outside, I thought Das would stay inside.
I was expecting a lunge too, but being teammates, they might just want to run nose to tail as fast as they can and try to make a gap to P3.
Oh, taking a little wide back here, deeper in the field. Like the 24 of Day, says Day and Kara. Such get a little wide there. Opens the door. There goes Das by. No need to push it into one if the other opportunity is going to happen, or...
Yeah, always got to be looking for an opportunity to make a pass no matter what corner it's at.
Well, they've been applying pressure to the backside of each other pretty heavy here. You can see Such closes right back up on him.
Yeah, even with their small battle, it still looks like they're making pretty good time on the field, so...
Yeah. Here are the S's. Different radiuses through those S's, right? I mean, none of those corners are the same. Do they flow well?
Yeah, they do. In the Formula Regional car, we're flat from the apex of the first S all the way through in qualifying.
Watching the 27 and the 10 right here. Pachetta in the 27. The 10 is Kara working the way up. Daniel Kara. Yeah, the lead two definitely starting to stretch it out a little bit, aren't they?
Yep, and it definitely helps that the second pack is fighting with each other, and so it just slows them down and allows the first two to get away even more.
Arazu in the blue 42 there making the move on Kara, gets around Daniel, takes over third. Pachetta behind them in the 27. Arbir Das out of Ohio in the Berger Racing entry. Out front, leading over Such. Drew Such out of St. Charles, Illinois in the other Berger Racing entry. These two are definitely pulling away and doing so quickly.
Yeah, the gap to third is nearly 3 seconds now. I mean, it depends how good they get through the S's, but it could be well over 3 seconds by the end of the lap.
Turning laps in the 150s. Felbers running 6th and 7th, with Roman Felber in the 73, just in front of Cash Felber in the 11. They hail from Bath, Ohio, and Champaign Racing. 2.3 seconds, the gap between second and third. Sure looked more than that, didn't it?
Yeah, the 42 car went purple that lap, so he made some time up in the last few corners through 13 to 16. As long as he can stay clear of Cara behind him, he has a chance of catching the leaders.
Inside of 14 minutes left. It's about a half a dozen laps or so.
Yeah, now's the time for them to just settle in and start turning laps, and then especially the two Berg Racing cars, they just need to continue their pace up front to get some gaps on the field, and then they can fight with each other at the end, last 3 laps.
Yeah. Looks like the engine cover coming off. That's going to change things. You can see him slowing rapidly and pulling wide. He knows something's wrong. Couldn't reach back there, could he?
No, he was grabbing on the wrong side, but there's no way you can get that back down.
Back there. No, not with the belts on. Well, that leaves Doss out front and vulnerable then. Now let's see what Razu can do here. 1.6 seconds, the gap. That's a Razu right there in the 42. Gaston Razu from Uruguay, Montevideo, Uruguay.
Yep, and he went purple again that lap as well. Cut it down quite a few tenths, almost nearly half a second that lap on.
Clicking him off.
Into Doss.
This track is so flat. There's the 28 off Such. And there's nothing around. I mean, the trees are all far off to the sides. So what do you use for brake markers? What are you looking for?
In a few of the corners where there's not set out pylons for marking the brake like there is in turn 1 and into turn 13 right here, it's pretty much anything, like the end of a curbing or the start of a curbing, or a bump in the track that you feel every time you go in. It's really just feeling the places that there's not brake markers, like into turn 4 there's none, but there is in 1, 3, and 13.
All right, let's see where Razu is at now. It was 1.6. I'm sure he's closed up some. He looks like he's less than a car length behind him now.
Within half second.
Oh yeah, inside of a half a second. So what does Doss have to do to keep him behind? Because Razu is certainly quicker.
Yeah, at this point you just got to defend, and
that's not going to get it done. As Razu looks inside, he's going to be able to make this pass happen here. Holds that line, should be able to cross over in front of him.
Yep, Doss is going to get back at him.
Great move by Habir Doss.
Yeah, at this point you just got to not make mistakes and drive as defensive and as fast as possible. It's hard to make that crossover, when to be defensive, when to drive your line. This is the hard part.
This is what earns you the opportunity to move up to the next step, right?
Yes, it's this racecraft that you make here when you decide to defend and stuff like that. You learn from every single race that you do how to get better at the racing aspect of it, not necessarily the speed all the time.
Habir Doss out front. Razu looking inside. New leader. Now can Doss fight back here? And Cara has closed up as well, so Doss might be getting more pressure from the backside.
Yeah, as long as he can keep it close enough off the final turn, the toe should bring him back to Irazu in front.
Just about 9 minutes left. This opening round, you're watching the Ligier JFC Junior Formula Championship. Season opening race from NOLA Motorsports Park, just outside of New Orleans, about 20 minutes or so. And the battle is on for second place now as Cara has closed up to the backside of Doss. Oh, one off here, the 20 car, that's Pinkowski, and into a big puddle.
Could get stuck there, yep.
That could bring up the pace car again. Which could be good news for Doss.
Yeah, it could bring him back in, let his tires cool down, and kind of give him a second breath in the final stages of the race.
Still waiting to see if we get a yellow. Oh, Pinkowski might make it. Does so. Nice work, Kelsey, out of Rochester, New York. Keep racing. There's the 24. That's Day. Running back in 11th. There's Doss and Cara. That's the fight for second. Cara out of Texas, the Woodlands area. That's a family-owned and operated business there too, the Cara Origin Motorsports team. A little different because a lot of these organizations have a handful of cars and drivers.
Yes, it's very similar to what I ran last year. We were a family-run team, just me, my dad, and a couple of people that we had met racing in SCCA. And it's better in a way and worse in some ways, but I mean, it's an experience that you won't forget, and it really invites learning.
So it looks like Cara has gotten around Doss. Boy, Doss just had this one headed his way till the engine cover came off of his teammate's car, and then it all went out the window.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange one. Maybe, I don't know if he started on fresh tires or not.
I was
think
just
he had
wondering the same thing.
I think he had scrubs on, so maybe they're falling away from him, and
Yeah.
the cars that started on fresh tires are just making the best use of them that they can.
Again, everybody on the hand-cooked tires. You get 2 sets for the weekend.
Yes.
21.7 inches diameter in the front, 22.6 to the rear. Win this one, you get a scholarship to F4 US. Highly coveted awards. Watching a Razoo just inside of 2 seconds up on Cara. 5 minutes remaining. Still some spots where there's a fair amount of water out there.
Yeah, it looks like it was getting pulled into the track from off the curb out there, but that's a relatively low-loaded place right there, so it's not too big of a deal as long as it's not hydroplaning the cars.
It's one of the challenges about racing here in the weather is that the track is actually lower than the grass. So a lot of times that water comes right back onto the track when they try to clear it off. Back past the starter stand. Pinkowski in danger of going down a lap here. Oh, and around goes one of the Felbers. That's the 73. He's running in 6th. Front wing damage on that car.
Contact on the nose there, yeah.
That's Roman Felber.
He might be stuck in between the track and the grass.
No caution yet. Still waiting with 3.5 minutes left. If he is stuck inside of 3.5 minutes to go, it might be hard to get this one restarted, even if it goes to full course caution.
Yeah, it's unlikely to get it restarted if they do end up going full course, but he is stuck on an escape road, it looks like. Oh, he's moving now.
Oh yeah, there he goes. Far off to our right.
Yep.
All right, looks like we're going to be able to race to the checkers here with inside of 3 minutes to go. Every opportunity that'll look like Kara and Doss are going to have a shot to close back up on Arazu has vaporized just before the cautions come out.
Yep, he's driving a really good, clean race, just being consistent. And really, once you get out front, that's all you need to do is just be consistently as fast as you can and just make sure that it's enough.
White flag. White flag is out. 1 to go. Arazu out in front of Kara and Doss. Shetta in 4th. And then the other Felber car, the 11 of Cash Felber, rounding out the top 5. Ava Hansen's gotten going again in the 26. She's worked her way back up to 6th position. Having issues early on in this one.
Yep, and she had some front wing damage too, so she's probably suffering with a little lack of a front grip in the high speed, but doing a good job to keep it up in 6th.
So she can bring it home with a nice top 10. Each one of our categories this weekend getting 3 rounds of competition in. Oh, another one off. This is Pinkowski again. And beached over here is the 24 of Day. They are doing everything they can to bring out a yellow, aren't they?
Yeah, it happens. First race of the season, everybody's new. It's a new track. I mean, it's just a...
Oh, and another one spinning the same corner there. I wonder if there's
some oil down.
Something on the track there, yeah.
That's in between like turn 5 and 6 out on the backside.
Back section of the race. Here's a checkered flag waving for Arazu. Gaston Arazu will take the win from Montevideo, Uruguay. Champagne Racing taking the victory in the season opening round for the Ligier JFC Junior Formula Championship here at NOLA Motorsports Park. Kara will finish in 2nd, Daniel Kara, and Harbir Das will round out the podium in car number 23 out of Solon, Ohio for Berg Racing. Well, a handful of cars showing they had the speed, but the brakes just went to Arazu. He was able to capitalize. Once it got out front, there didn't seem to be anything that was going to slow him down. And I think you're right about Doss. I think the tires just went away. I agree with you. I think he started on scuffs and maybe it was just too many laps.
Yeah, it's easy to overwork the tires here as well, especially with all the high-speed load that they get put through them. So it can make the new tire advantage last even longer with that first little bit of softer rubber on top and then a little bit longer life throughout the race.
Well, Razu will make his way to pit lane. And Ben Sissel will get an interview with our winner. And they'll be headed over to winner's circle after that. Here's the results. Arazu, Cara, Doss, Pachetta, and Felber, your top 5. Hansen, Forey, Griffith, Felber, and Fatuda rounding out the top 10. We didn't get a chance to talk about Zach Forey much today, did we? Looks like he had a pretty solid run, though, finishing in 7th. Driver out of Rabat, Morocco. That's one of the interesting things for Jensen Racing. One of the interesting things about these series that we have over here, this ladder system. We got a lot of drivers from all over the world. It's interesting.
Yep, we had a pretty diverse field from down under. Last year in F4 we had Daniel Quimby, Nicholas Stoddy, both from Australia, and Alex Crosby from New Zealand, and then Pablo Benitez, I believe he flew the Argentinian flag for the races that he did. So it was a nice series, and it draws people in from a lot of countries around the world.
There's our winner getting out, celebrating. Gaston Arazu, he hails from Uruguay. All right, let's go ahead and head it down to Ben, who's over there in the winner's circle.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Gaston Arazu, all the way from Uruguay, starting from the 7th position and then coming through the field to win the race. Unbelievable, Gaston. Just a fantastic race. Put the hat on, sir. That has got to feel good.
Well, it was a very great race. I saw 7 for a penalty yesterday, but we can win. So I'm very happy.
Now, say something to all of our fans in the comments in español, please.
Bueno, espero que hayan disfrutado de la carrera. Creo que fue muy buena. Arranqué de 7º por una penalización, pero bueno, por suerte pude ganar y estar primero por ahora en el campeonato.
Well, Gaston Arazu, congratulations, sir. Nice run, unbelievable. Gentlemen, I'm going to send it back up to you in the booth.
Yeah, that was an outstanding performance by Gaston. He worked his way up into a shot and took advantage of it.
Yeah, you just got to make as many spots as you can on the first lap, and then just get your head down and drive the best race that you can. Make up as many, take as many opportunities that arise, and just he was able to capitalize on it today.
Gaston with the Uruguayan flag, celebrating. Well, you're going to hopefully have a shot at another race here this afternoon and maybe one more tomorrow. What have you learned from this one that will help you set your car for the next round if it stays dry?
We just need to focus on tire wear mostly. I think that this race especially showed the difference that the new tires bring through all the series, and yeah, we just need to focus on getting the best out of our tires and making them last for the whole race.
All right, well, Connor, thank you very much for coming by. Best of luck for the rest of the weekend. Hopefully we'll see you back up here soon. That's it for now. We'll have more racing coming your way here shortly from NOLA Motorsports Park. I'm Ralph Shaheen. We'll see you in a little bit.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn, 140-mile-an-hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the VBox HD2 system.
said.
One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, look out, Miller, look out.
Architecture is about everything. We change the environment. We are changing how people live in the environment today. So we basically put our fingerprint on the future of what the United States looks like. My overall business philosophy is that I'm engaged with my company from top to bottom. And I think the racing world and helping out the next generation and younger drivers is a passion of mine, and is getting stronger and stronger every year. With that, that's why I want to be involved.
The NOLA SpeedTour returns to